Hey YouTube, it's Alicia here. I'm back. I know I keep vanishing into the sunset. I am just so busy, but I am doing my best to try to keep up with these reviews. I watch the show, I take my notes, but then I just don't have time to do the video. But I am here. I'm going to get caught up this very weekend. So I am back to review The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 7. This is Episode 9. Okay, so this week we open up with Kyle, and it's time for their annual white party. I thought this party was usually at the end of the season where they had Fatburger come and cater all the time, but this time they're having the annual white party, but instead of a white party theme, it's actually going to be the Great Gatsby, and instead of being in Kyle's backyard, they are going to use Mauricio's Malibu estate, the mansion he's trying to sell. So free advertising for his agency and to get this house sold. Kyle's calling Lisa Vanderpump to make sure she's coming to the party, and we learn Lisa Vanderpump is on vacation. She's been very busy with her shows and her restaurants, and she said, I love you, Kyle, but I'm not coming back, not even for you. I need my rest. This is also the week of Lisa Rinna's barbecue that she invited everybody to last week, and she's outside getting ready for this party. We see Harry Hamlin. He's very hands-on. He's doing everything, cooking, baking, just doing all the preparations. So in the beginning, we see them in the kitchen, and they're looking for a rolling pin so that Harry Hamlin can make the pies. It seems chaotic. Lisa Rinna doesn't know where anything is in the kitchen. She relies on her housekeeper, which I'm sure many of these women do. And then later on, we go outside. They kind of fast forward to the beginning of the preparations to right before the party. And do you guys remember last week when Lisa Rinna told Erica that it's a casual party, it's jeans and a flannel shirt, it's just very, very casual? Lisa Rinna is wearing a very white fitted dress. It's really pretty. And I'm thinking, what? It's not casual? So again, setting Erica up to embarrass herself. Oh, to keep it casual, Lisa Rinna does put a little flannel shirt around her waist, maybe to dress it down a little bit. But if I were Erica, I'd be like, listen, I don't trust you ladies. I'm going to wear what I want to wear. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But everything looks gorgeous. For a barbecue, it's very classy. They have a nice table in the backyard. It is beautifully laid out, set up. It's gorgeous. Eden shows up first, and she has an empty bottle that she says is full of love. It's a very interesting gift. Kind of deep, I guess, I guess her intention is for it to be deep or meaningful, but it's kind of strange, and Lisa Rinna thought so as well. Next, Dorit shows up, and she's dressed identically to Harry Hamlin. They've got a light blue, oversized button-down shirt on and white jeans, and she goes right over and gives him a hug, and she says hello to everybody else. Then Erica shows up, so I guess she was prepared. She walks in wearing a black dress with a white jacket. Very nice, very tasteful, and not casual. So I'm glad that she didn't really rely on Lisa Rinna's advice. Now Kyle comes in doing the absolute most. She comes in wearing a white suit with a white jacket. It is very nice. But I'm thinking for a barbecue, like it can't wait. If it were me, I couldn't wait to get barbecue sauce on it, food, something would go wrong. And then they're outside. So anyway, she looks very nice, but just very inappropriate for a barbecue. But I guess technically they all are. We learn that Lisa Rinna's daughters are obsessed with Erica Jane. Like they come out to meet her, they're fangirling all over her, they're very excited, look up to her. And Erica's very humble. She seems very down to earth anyway, so she's very nice to the girls, and it's a cute moment. So moving right on into the drama, we get a scene with Dorit and Eden. Apparently they had lunch a couple of days ago, and Eden was just really letting loose about how she felt about Kim and how she felt like Kim was really cold to her, and she really just wanted to make a connection with her. And she felt like Kim wasn't listening to a word she said, and to her that was a red flag. She said because Kim is an addict, the fact that she didn't listen to her was a red flag. And I was thinking, Kim doesn't even know you. Why would she think that you have anything different to say from what she has heard in all of her other recovery programs? But whatever. So they go into it, and Dorit wants to know how is Eden doing now after she has, gone through all this stuff at the lunch the other day. So Eden says, she's got it out of her system. She's calmer now. She's going to approach it and, handle it in a better way. So Dorit tells Eden she should talk to Kyle. So to the party, they're all kind of seated around, and somebody asks, where's Kim? And we learn that Kim was not invited to the party. So Eileen says that she had a very nice conversation with Kim at Dorit's party. And she said she doesn't like to have ickiness between people, so she was happy to have that conversation. Well, Eden decides that's her opportunity, her sign to finally open up this conversation with Kyle, like she told Dorit she would. So she tells Kyle that she really felt uncomfortable at the party. She said that really this whole situation is between her and Kim, but that she's opening up to Kyle out of respect for Kyle. Does anybody else think Eden's crazy? I think she is crazy, y'all. I know I said last time that I thought she was high strung. I was trying to be nice. I think something's wrong with Eden. Like, I think she makes up these scenarios in her head and she thinks that they are reality. But I mean, I would be running away from Eden. If I were Kyle, I'd be like, look, stay away, keep your craziness to yourself. It's just, she's doing the most. Way too much. Kyle also apparently thinks the same thing. She says she feels like Eden is injecting herself into a situation that has nothing to do with her. And she's absolutely right. And she says she doesn't know what to do with this information that Eden is telling her anyway. So then at the end, Eden gives Kyle a hug, and Kyle says, am I going to get one of those long, awkward hugs? And Eden says yes. And that's exactly what I had said. She gives these long, creepy, inappropriate hugs. It's just so weird. She's weird, y'all. What do y'all think about Eden? Let me know in the comments below. So we get Erica at the Young and the Restless Studios, and I love every time we see the Young and the Restless Studios. I would love to have a part on that show, or any show. It'd be great. So anyway, so she goes, and she's really nervous. She's going to read for the casting director, and y'all, they give her a script to read on site. Like, she walks in, they're like, here you go. She's never seen it before, and she's going to read against or with Eileen. I thought she did a great job. I mean, for having never seen that script before, I thought she was believable. She did a really, really good job. I was very impressed, especially the first time through. The casting director says, oh, good job, but can you do it again with some authority this time? Like, I was really surprised. It seemed like, the feedback wasn't that positive, but it wasn't like horrible either. So Erica does it again. And she actually, to me, like, if you guys watch Young and the Restless, how everyone's so serious on the show and just, stoic, I felt like Erica gave she embodied that character that all of them have. And she did a good job the second time as well. And the casting director this time was really impressed with her. And Eileen was as well. I think she is a natural at this. So now we're getting ready for Kyle's Great Gatsby party, and she says she just loves the 20s. It reminds her of flash and glamour and money, and I'm thinking it reminds me of the great stock market crash and then the Great Depression. I'm just thinking, a couple of things went on in the 20s. But, whatever. Think of the good things. Good for you, Kyle. Eden and Lisa Rinna come together, and they both came in with little black short wigs and nice dresses, and I couldn't tell the two apart. They looked very similar. I think because they came in, when the camera showed them, they came in from a distance, and so I just assumed it was Eileen and Lisa Rinna at first because they always come together, but it was Eden and Lisa Rinna. But either way, it was hard for me to tell them apart because of their haircuts. And then Eileen actually showed up with Camille. Now, I for sure did not recognize Eileen with the black wig. Like, she was completely different. And speaking of unrecognizable, what did you guys think of Erica Jane? Like, with that pretty blonde hair, and it was short and it was wild. I definitely thought she looked totally different. And later on, when Kim arrives, she also didn't recognize her. It was a good look, but was it really 20s, y'all? Did it seem very 20-ish? It didn't really seem very 20s-ish to me, but she looked nice in it. I was kind of disappointed in Camille's look. It looked like she didn't really make much effort. It honestly looked like she just put a headband around her head and got dressed. I mean, I just felt like compared to everybody else, she just really didn't make that much of an effort. Now, granted, a lot of the other ones are actresses or used to costumes. Eileen even said that she got her costume from the casting department. I mean, what's it called? Can't think of what it's called. The wardrobe, the wardrobe department at her soap opera studio. So, she got to cheat a little bit. So she said that was one of the perks of being an actress on a soap. So Kyle is coming to her party in a limo with Mauricio and PK and Dorit. And in the limo, Kyle is talking about what happened at the barbecue. Dorit had to leave early. She had something going on with her kid's school. I think that's what it was. And so Kyle is filling her in on how Eden had come close to her and talked to her about, Kim and her sobriety and that type of thing. So Kyle said she had seen Dorit and Eden talking. And so Dorit offers up the fact that, oh, yes, by the way, she did say that you're an enabler. And Kyle is just rolling her eyes. And so Mauricio, who had been just laying back, pipes in, is like, who said you're an enabler? That's not true. And he gets all offended and, typical Mauricio getting involved. But whatever. Kyle's trying to express to her expressed to Dorit how weird it is that Eden is getting involved, and how she said originally she thought she was going to like Eden, but now she just doesn't really care for her because she's really inserting herself in something that doesn't belong to her, doesn't have anything to do with her. So once they get to the party, we see Kyle and Kim. They're kind of sitting around. They're really getting along well this season. And so Kyle's just telling Kim all the things that was going wrong with the party and just different things, just having good sister bonding time. And then Eden shows up. And why does she do that? She comes over and she just looks so serious, y'all. I really think something's wrong with Eden. I mean, I hate to say that. I think something's wrong with her. She says that when she looks at Kyle and Kim, she just really sees herself and her sister. And I'm just thinking, projection much, projection much. She said it just makes her emotional. So Kyle is ready for it. She tells her, look, I'm not an enabler. My sister's doing well. And so she's kind of telling Kim that Eden was concerned about your behavior the other day. And Kim's like, what behavior? I'm doing fine. And it's just crazy. Eden tells us that she really feels like Kyle's an enabler because there's something going on with Kim, and rather than Kyle address it, she just smooths things over. And honestly, we don't know what Kyle does behind closed doors. I mean, she's fought this battle for her whole life, or however long Kim's been in the situation, and maybe she doesn't want to share all of that with the world. And so Eden is really making a lot of assumptions here, and it's really gross that she's making these statements on national TV like she has an inside front seat to what's going on inside of their lives. So if I were Kyle, I'd be just as offended as well. So Kim, all of a sudden, apparently listening to her sobriety classes or whatever else, she starts to school Eden and says, I feel like you were judging me. And Eden says, yes, I did judge you. And she goes, well, in sobriety, you're not supposed to judge, you're not supposed to have expectations, and you're doing it wrong. And I'm thinking, okay, Kim, I don't want to judge the lady and opine over whether or not she's sober or not, but I think that Kim is very judgmental. She doesn't own her own mistakes. In recovery, aren't you supposed to admit that you have a problem and you're supposed to make amends? And there's all these steps, right? We haven't seen Kim do any of these steps. We've seen her be in denial about her situation. We've seen her lie about her situation. We've seen her not apologize to anyone for any of the bad behavior that she has done over the seasons, and yet she wants to hold everybody else to some standard of how they need to behave. So I'm like, come on, Kim. If you were an example or a better example of sobriety, then I would really be on your side for trying to school somebody else and where they might have fallen short. But you don't even exemplify a sober person, and you don't even exemplify anybody who's been through the program. So just have a seat. Kim just really bothers me with that. I just cannot stand the fact that she doesn't own any of her own stuff. And I can understand Lisa Rinna's frustration last season when she kept saying, own it, baby. I can get it. Because it's like, for somebody who's supposed to be in recovery, I know it's not perfect. And I know that on the Real Housewives of New York, what was her name? Let me think. Jules was a recovering person with an eating disorder, and she said it wasn't linear. It was kind of like all over the place, up and down, and that makes perfect sense. So I'm sure it's the same way with a drinking problem. It's none of that recovery is going to be linear. It's not going to be perfect. You're going to have ups and downs, but be honest about it. I'm struggling today. I'm not struggling today. But Kim really comes off like she is just perfect, and just it's annoying to me. But back to Eden. She is crazy. She is convinced that she just cares so much about Kim and Kyle, who she doesn't even know, and that if they just knew that she cared, she'd be able to help them. So she's all brokenhearted about the whole thing. I feel like Eden's approach is just wrong. I mean, you do not know these people at all. Maybe she's watched the show and feels like she does know the people, but I mean, she's really going too hard. I don't know if the producer set her up to it or what is really going on, or maybe she's truly just crazy. But I mean, she probably could have done much more good by really just calming down and really getting to know them. Like Kyle said, back off and let me get to know you. So Eden says, maybe if she and her sister had had someone like her to talk to before her sister died, maybe it would have saved her life. And y'all, I don't know if this is wrong to feel this way, but I honestly feel like, look, you were there and you couldn't save your sister's life. Your sister called you. Who knows what was going on? Maybe she was truly in danger. Maybe, I don't know. But all we know is that she called her the night she died. So maybe she could have made a difference. Maybe she couldn't have. But we know that Eden, who's now touting herself as this expert in recovery and all of these things, is saying that maybe she could have made a difference when she didn't even make a difference in her own sister living. And that's very sad. I'm not trying to be harsh or anything, but it's a lofty statement to make, that somehow you could truly make the difference between somebody living or dying. And I don't feel like she's really helping the Richards sisters at all. She's not offering any advice. She's not coming across as compassionate or concerned. She's coming across as like just very confrontational in her face. It's just the wrong approach. But anyway, guys, what do you guys think about this whole situation? Do you think Eden is really concerned? Do you think she's just starting trouble? Do you think she wants airtime? Like, what's really going on with Eden? I really believe that she honestly does believe that she can help the Richards sisters. But that to me just speaks to the fact that there's something wrong with Eden. I think. But I'd like to know what you guys think about her. She's very weird. So to move on to something lighter, we go on back to the party where we see Lisa, Rinna, and Eileen talking to Mauricio and PK, and they're gassing Mauricio up about how successful he is, and how he's going to have a plane soon, and I think PK says he's going to be a billionaire soon, or somebody did. So they're really gassing him up, and he probably will be. He's doing super, super well. So maybe it's not all gassing up, but they're definitely over there having a good time with him. And then all of a sudden, PK says that Eileen and Lisa Rinna are like those two old men from the Muppets, the ones that sit up in the opera seats and just judge everybody else. And I'm thinking, where'd that come from? Like, okay, so we know that Lisa Vanderpump brought on Dorit as a friend and an ally. And it's so clear that PK is really on Lisa Vanderpump's side, because honestly, he doesn't know these ladies, and he's been against them from the beginning. Even at the party, at the dinner that they had, where PK was asking Lisa Rinna about, letting things go, and she held on to something for a year. And, it was just, he just acts like he doesn't know anything about what's going on, but he obviously does. And he comes at them because he's trying to, have Lisa Vanderpump's back. It's just gross. Gross. I was glad that Eileen said right in that moment that was weird, because it was. Who says that? It was weird. So now we're getting ready to get into the drama of the season, y'all. We go back to Kyle and Kim, and they're still talking to Eden, entertaining her nonsense. And Kim is trying to tell Eden that, she didn't appreciate her coming in, getting involved, and at the party game night, saying that Kim was attacking Lisa Rinna, which she was. And so basically, Kyle says that she feels like all this conversation about Kim just seems so gossipy. She doesn't like it. She doesn't know where it's coming from. And Eden says, ask your friends. So we already know. All that chatter that happened between Eden and Lisa Rinna when they were shopping the other week is about to come front and center. It's going to get all a mess. I was shocked when Lisa Rinna was saying all that stuff. Remember? I was just like, you're on camera, right, Lisa Rinna? Like, you're really out here saying Kyle's an enabler and that Kim is this close to death. Like, you're really putting this out here. So the hens are coming home to roost, y'all. It's coming. It's coming. I don't know, it's going to get nasty. I think this is the drama that's going to carry us all the way through the season. Can't wait for it. Lisa Vanderpump makes a cameo appearance at the party. She comes in looking super pissed off that she had to come in from her vacation because those contracts are binding. You've got to come to the event, Lisa. Sorry, you're not above it. She comes in for a few minutes. Everyone's glad to see her. And, she says hi to Dorit. And I just remember when we were introduced to Dorit, Lisa Vanderpump said that Dorit was an upgrade from PK's first wife. Do you remember that? And even when she said it at that time, I thought, wow, how rude. What does the other woman think about hearing something like that about herself on national TV? But now I'm thinking, now that we've gotten to know Dorit a little bit more, I'm thinking, if she's an upgrade, who was the first wife? Because Dorit, I don't know Dorit, but she's not really giving me upgrade teas. Like, she just seems like, they both seem sketchy. Her and PK together seem like grifters, just faking the funk out there, probably living on credit cards, probably don't have any money. I don't know. But they don't really strike me as the solid, I don't know how Beverly Hills people truly are, but they don't really give me upgrade anything. They seem like super fake and pretentious. But anyway, what do you guys think? That's my opinion, my impressions of the PK and Dorit clan so far. We learned that Kim is dating a new guy, which, can't wait to see if we see this guy on camera. After her last boyfriend that got dragged all over social media, I'm wondering if she dares to show who this guy's going to be and if he's going to be the same or better. I don't know. Camille says she can't find a man. After the whole kerfuffle with Dimitri and that drama, I will probably cool off too. But she said she's thinking about moving back to New York because LA is evident, or Beverly Hills evidently is not where it's at. Wouldn't that be interesting though, y'all? Like if she moved back to New York, do you think they would put her on as a Real Housewife of New York? You know, like a real crossover? It could be interesting. I don't know. How do y'all think she'd get along with those housewives if you watch that franchise? Put some comments below. Let me know what y'all think. Would she fit in? Finally, we see Eden talking to Lisa Vanderpump, and Lisa Vanderpump pretty much warns her. She says, "Look, Kyle's my girl. You and I started off on the right foot, but if you go after my friend Kyle, we're going to have problems, you and I. And nobody wants to be on the wrong side of Lisa Vanderpump because they'll be off the show." So, again, I think Lisa Rinna has already set up Eden to be kicked off the show. So, depending on how this goes with Kyle and Kim, she could be just sealing her fate. Next week, we go to Mexico. Wonder what that's going to be like. Wonder how many trips they're going to have this season. Do you think this is the cast trip? Like, after they went to Dubai last season, I mean, did they run out of money? They went to Mexico? I don't know. So they went to Greece for Erica Jane. She was already going anyway. That was for her tour, and the camera just happened to follow her. But I don't know. Interesting. So what do you guys think of this week's episode? That is it. That's all of the show in a nutshell. I enjoyed it. I think we're really starting to get into the goods and the drama now. So I'm hoping that it really, really takes off for some juicy action. But let me know in the comments below what you guys thought. And thanks again for watching this week. Thanks for hanging in with me. I am doing my best, y'all. Please have patience. But anyway, guys, thank you for liking and commenting and subscribing. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.